Hey guys, Ponce here, and it's been about 3 years since I last made a League of Legends video. And of course, I'm doing this because the launch of League of Legends Classic on the PBE, eventually live. Now, I wasn't initially going to do this, but enough people actually asked me about it, and I was like, okay, why not? We'll give it a shot. I do have a lot of reservations, chief among which is the presence of Vanguard. That program has given me a lot of issues in the past, like I'm kind of concerned for my hardware sort of issues, but we'll give it a shot. We'll see how it goes for now. In any case, probably going to be streaming this stuff, the League Classic on Twitch and on YouTube, but that's not the point. I figured we'd kick things off by making a video, or more specifically, revisiting an old video to sort of get back into the mindset of what things were like roughly around Season 3, because that's the video that I'm going to, sort of segue into here. It was made roughly around the start of Season 3, if I recall correctly. And having watched over it, the things I say, honestly, I still stand behind them, and they're probably still good advice for League and most games in general, like modern League. I wouldn't know for certain because I don't play it anymore. I haven't for years, but yeah, I don't know. I like that having gone back and seen this stuff from things I used to make many years ago. The way I think and speak has not changed all that much. Very little character development in 13 years apparently, but. In any case, sort of a blast from the past. You're going to have to put up with how videos used to be on YouTube. They're kind of low quality. Now, granted, I've always been sort of low quality in terms of what I've been doing, but yeah, it might be either frustrating or interesting, and just sort of sort of a time capsule thing, just to see how these old videos used to be, because they're never going to come up in any kind of modern algorithm thing. They're just buried. So anyway, enjoy, and like I said, I'll be playing Classic. So thanks for watching, and maybe I'll see you live or in future videos. I'll probably have a few more at least. All right, bye. Here's the rest of the video.
Hey, this is Ponce again, continuing on with the series of tutorial videos I've been doing. The 5 key principles I feel are very important areas to improve in on League of Legends, perhaps the fastest ways. Well, again, in my opinion, may not necessarily be. But yeah, last time we did lane mechanics. That was a fairly basic thing where I talked mainly about zone of threat. And of course, there's a lot more to lane mechanics than just that, but that's kind of the main area I wanted to cover that time. This time we're going to move on to lane decision making, which is a slightly more involved topic. But the main thing I really want to get at is sort of this notion that you always want to be doing something. Basically, any given time on the map and during the game, there is gold and EXP to be gained somewhere on the map. And it goes along with the phrase time is money, basically. That's sort of the principle you want to be following. Of course, there's also the opposing, sort of almost as a polar opposite force, kind of modulating your need to do that, which is risk versus reward. So obviously you can't always be doing the maximum amount of EXP and gold, because you run the risk of dying, or something along those lines. So what I feel you really should be trying to accomplish is sort of finding a good middle ground between these two things. And I'm going to get really pretentious here, so if you don't like pretentious stuff, you're probably going to cut the video off right now. But yeah, it's sort of it goes with the sort of the Sun Tzu's principle of you want to be formless, and they can't read what you're doing. It's basically you're being offensive and defensive all at the same time, and they're not really sure what you're doing. And I think another principle or idea that goes well with this, even more pretentious, this is going to be an actual quote this time, but this comes from Patton, General George S. Patton, is that when you slow anything down, you waste human lives. So basically, you're continuously in motion and sort of confusing the enemy with whether or not you're aggressive, whether or not you're defensive. Is he coming in to CS me? Is he coming in to kill me? It always messes up his decision-making process. So decision-making isn't just all about you. It's about you making the right decisions, the informed decisions, and messing up the enemy's decision-making process. I have 2 clips coming up here. The first clip is me fighting an Amumu. I just killed, or me and the jungler had just killed a lane partner, or my lane opponent, and the Amumu sticks around, and basically You're gonna have to take my word for it because I'm not gonna show the first part. But I've been playing that lane very aggressively up until that point, and so I'm kind of moving up, and it doesn't look like I'm too threatening. It looks like I'm just kind of CSing, but this causes the lane or the jungler, the Amumu, to make a mistake. He thinks, okay, he can't get me. Their jungler left, so the jungler forgets about the other jungler. That's very bad. So he makes a very bad mistake, and you can see I jump in and we take advantage of that. The next clip coming after that is partially because of what happened there. There's a bit of a lull, but and then partially because of what happened with the jungler there earlier, I use the fact that I'm way ahead in this lane, and I abuse basically anytime you're ahead in a lane. Well, not any time, but a lot of the time when you're ahead, you want to start really kind of pushing that lead. You don't want to have a lead and then do nothing with it, because then what's the point of a lead? Of course, the counterpoint to that is you don't want to always be, just aggressive, because if you're way too aggressive, then you're going to get jungle ganked. And I think I show the right time because I make the informed decision that, okay, I can't be ganked. I'm going to go all in now. I'm going to play very offensively. That's a key point to lane decision making. In fact, you'll actually see that I mechanically screw up. So going back to the first video, my mechanics are actually very off in the second clip. But I realized, wait a minute, even though I mechanically messed up, I can keep going with what I'm doing. And then I ultimately come out successful with what I'm trying to do. I talk about a number of other things during the course of the second clip. Especially another key point is how I start to transition more into the team fight phase. When the laning phase starts to wind down a bit, and sort of starting to think about that kind of thing even before it's actually happening. But anyway, it's enough rambling on by me. I will get right into the clips now, which will start now. Good job. We can kill this guy. Ooh, that was close. See, Jax is just... he doesn't want to be anywhere near me, I guess. Not with double, when I have double off like this. He's not even in lane. Where the hell is he? If he backed, then he is going to be back very soon, so there's no point in me pushing the lane up. I'm going to make him lose as much as possible, even if it's just 2 minions like that. Yeah, see, he can't trade with me at all. Basically, I'm in such a commanding lead in this lane that, and I know Amumu is bottom right now, so I can all-in Jax whenever I want, pretty much. I'm going to try and hit 6, hopefully, off this wave. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. Yeah, I will hit 6, and I'm going to be able to all-in him on him with my ult. I think he burned Flash earlier, so I can do that fairly easily, I think. Don't want to tower dive him. That would be unfortunate, but... I missed. And there we go. See, that's the thing you really need to abuse of Jarvan, is people don't expect you to be able to, like, completely burst them down like that. When people think Jarvan, they think a very tanky character. And part of your lane decision-making process is to be able to exploit things like that. And of course, I was able to do that because, as I said earlier, I knew Amumu was bottom. Therefore, I was able to make an informed decision that the correct thing to do was to dive him like that. Always helps when you have a lead, going into doing something like that. But then again, that's another decision you have to make. I have a healthy lead, therefore I'm going to exploit this lead. And I'm going to be able to take this tower at 7 minutes 30 seconds. And I can get out. Yeah, I'm fine. Wait for him to jump to me, he burns his stun. And yeah, I just get out. Again, I could sit at the tower, and I made a conscious decision at the time saying, I'm Jarvan, I can EQ out, even though I'm low, and he cannot stop me. And just in case, I still have Flash. So, I mean, that was a very safe choice by me. I am winning this lane, so I'm going to continue going very offensive in terms of my build. Or rather, I can leave, essentially, at any point. I can probably start roaming. What I'm going to do here is the decision-making process starts, like, as soon as... It should be a continuous thing. Like, just because you're not in lane doesn't mean you could be making decisions. So I've consciously made the decision beforehand that I'm going to go back into lane here, like this. I'm going to push it out, see what I can do against this Jax. Okay, we might actually get a kill because that was very poor decision-making on his part. I'm going to be able to kill him. Yeah, I'm not going to burn flash. See? Consciously held back flash. Didn't want to burn it because I knew I could get him no matter what he did at that point. Barring like a Mumu maybe magically showing up and ulting me or something. But in that case, I can react to that in flash. So I'm going to push this lane up right now. That's what I'm going to do. And probably start helping the rest of my team. It's not always the right decision to make. I mean, there have been cases, for example, where I've gone to do something like that, and it was a mistake. Like, I completely blow my lead because I try and help my team, who's way, way behind. And when I should have just stayed in lane and beat the crap out of my lane opponent. But, you know what, it changed my mind again, actually. No, he's going to be able to get out. Whoa, holy crap, that's not good. Okay, he just burned... Oh, crap. I'm out of mana. But I'm still going to be able to get this kill. He's trying to juke me out. But... screw it. I'm going to flash. He's going to... Okay, yep. The obvious choice is me to go down like that, so I was going to start heading up. But Mumu just backed off. I figured what he was going to do is kind of bandage toss straight this way. That's why I tried to juke up a bit like that. It's always important to be able to read your abilities or your opponent's abilities and what they're going to do. Another important aspect of decision making. So in terms of build this game, their auto attack, like a lot of times what I like to do on Jarvan is I build into Glacial Shroud, but that's not really actually all that important in this game. Eventually I'm going to want the Merc Treads because they're a fairly CC heavy team, but I'm okay for now. So what I'm actually going to do is, it's a bit late for this actually, but yeah, I'm going to build into Heart of Gold and then I'm going to go Warden's Mail next. Ideally I probably should have built Heart of Gold a bit earlier if I'm going to do that, but I mean I'm going to build into Randuin's Omen anyway, so I can afford to build into it a bit late I suppose. Okay, so that was the Jarvan clips, where basically I'm talking about lane decision making in the context of the top lane. I thought I'd be able to flesh this sort of concept out more by doing a bottom lane game as well. So I picked support Janna, where actually you have a lot more time to think about setting things up. It's not you're not constantly fighting or trying to go after CS. So basically, especially if you're not as experienced with being able to think about a wider sort of more broad tactical kind of thing while fighting all at the same time, support lends itself quite well to just kind of sitting back and thinking about things. That's why I think if you have an organized team like an actual fives team, you really want kind of your brains of your team probably on support. I think it tends to work out really well. So support is definitely not a role to laugh at. I mean, it's quite important. So there's 3 clips actually in this little segment here. The first one is just basically me talking about how to set the lane up and what my thought process is in terms of when, how to work with another person in your lane, basically, the AD carry. You always want to go in with a kind of plan. You never just want to go into lane and just kind of try and figure out things on the spot. There was just something outside, but it's probably a raccoon. Anyway, yeah, so basically don't go into lane without a plan. It can backfire very quickly when something unexpected happens. You want to start thinking about eventualities, and it's mainly, this part is just about thinking about the game. And so that's not too long. And there's another brief clip, a second clip, when the action finally starts to come up there. And that's about basically I determine that we're in a position of strength. A lot like what I was doing top lane is, I determine, okay, we have an advantage. We just both hit 6. We have our ults. We have the jungler in the wings. He can always help, very quickly. And so I start baiting things. You see me one unsuccessful bait. They don't really take it. They kind of back off. But I keep at it, and then eventually they get really aggressive on us. And so you'll see an interesting fight happening there. As another point. Or something you probably want to watch for is, like, as the support, I'm trying to take as much damage as possible. If all the damage is focusing on me and not going into our AD carry especially, that's really good. Because I'm actually, if you'll look at my stats in that game, I have quite a bit of armor. I have just under 60 because I run red armor and yellow armor runes. So I'm able to soak up a lot there, and I even position myself in front of the AD carry a lot. You'll notice when Rammus comes rolling in, like I'm in position to basically block him from getting to our AD carry too well. In fact, I even like sort of block a taunt, I believe, somewhere in there. And yeah, that ends up working out quite well for us overall. I mean, I have to get the kill in the end, you'll see, and then that's kind of a mistake. Well, it's not a mistake. Basically, it could have worked out a bit better, but I had to get the kill to ensure we get the kill. As a support, yeah, you do want to give your kill to the AD carry, but if it means the person getting away, by all means, just make sure you get the kill. And also, you might notice when I say ignite, I actually mean exhaust, so just keep that in mind for that part there. The third part is, it's a bit longer. I actually have the least to say about it, oddly enough, it being the longest thing. But yeah, it's pretty much just another case of us coming in from a position of strength, or initiating it from a position of strength. Because I noticed that, and if you look at the AD carry as well, I mean, he's also cognizant of what's going on, because he has the same plan I do, and I didn't say a thing. It's great when things work out like that. But basically, the jungler was top. We are much stronger than them right now in bottom lane, and we seem to have a better synergy in terms of how we're playing. So immediately, we both just go for a play the instant we see an opportunity for one, and basically keep pushing that advantage, like I was talking about. The same deal as top lane. If you have an advantage and you know you can't get punished for it, by all means, press that advantage, and you're going to keep coming out further and further ahead. You need to seize those advantages basically when they present themselves. You kind of calculate all the factors that are going on in the map at the time, and then you reach a conclusion. Other than that, I just sort of, you see, as we get the lane under control, my considerations as a jungler, or not jungler, a support, start to shift towards dragon. You'll hear me talking about dragon. I probably mentioned it, I don't know, 5 times. And yeah, so that's another example of, much like I did with top lane, my thinking is starting to transition from the laning phase into objectives and like the wider team fight sort of thing. So that's what you can probably take away from these set of clips here. Starting now. So basically, the decision-making process really starts at, well, if you're doing a normal, the loading screen. If it's a ranked, at the character selection process, we can see what's being picked. But yeah, if you're being really serious about like trying to win and try-harding, then the loading screen is not a time to go, go take a piss or get your coffee or whatever. You should really be thinking about what's going on in terms of both your lane and the enemy lanes and how you're going to react to that. For example, the biggest consideration, or one of the biggest considerations, I suppose, is what's the jungler going to do? Well, we are blue team, therefore Rammus is going to start at blue, which places him right very close to us. Let's just get my stand. I don't need to think about items too much as a support because, well, I'm a support. Let's see now. Magic, mana regens by you, and we're good. Not going to get a point into anything yet. I may need Tornado to escape some kind of, level 1 gank or something. Otherwise, I'm going to go Eye of the Storm. And so Taric Vayne, we have sort of an AD mirror off here, and both Taric and myself, serve a similar-ish function. Like, we can both stifle one another's engagements. And I got here as soon as possible, so I don't think they could have run here. It was a little bit risky because it took me a little bit of time to buy my items. Bane should have gone in here first, but well, I could have communicated that to him. That's another important thing. If you want to do really, really well as a bottom laner, and you don't have a way of effectively communicating with your AD carry, you could communicate with him. But I'm just trying to showcase a more realistic scenario. Basically, your AD carry is not going to want to talk to you, and yeah, you're going to have to basically sort of intuit what his play style is throughout the game. Like, he constantly evaluate, okay, he's a very aggressive player, therefore I should be doing this, or he's a very passive player, therefore I should support him in this sort of way. Like I said, ideally, yes, try and communicate with your teammate, but that's not going to happen a lot of time, or what he says is going to be complete crap, and he's going to do the opposite, so, it can work against you. Rammus level 2 gank kind of scares me in conjunction with Taric, so I'm really tempted to get up an early ward. In fact, I'm going to do that now. I really hate doing this because I like saving my wards for as long as possible, but they have a pretty dangerous combination there. I'm just going to get my shield down. Yeah, we're fine. So pretty quiet here. I'm not putting my ward down right now because, well, I don't need to. We're sitting at tower. We are both pretty close to full life, therefore give him a shield for extra damage just in case the tower is doing too much. Yeah, okay, he can last hit fine. I have my ult now. So we actually both, she's 6, we'll both have our ults. Shield most of that damage. Okay, Hecarim is here. I'm gonna look to flash and try and like okay, this could be interesting. And there we go, triple kill at the cost of just me. I don't know if that was actually the right decision to save Ignite because she went down anyway and then save it for the Rammus. I think that was probably the right decision. I mean, that fight couldn't have gone too much more better. I mean, I could have survived in theory, but I mean, I'm just support. So I'm happy with how that turned out. Maybe I could have gotten out of that alive, but, really bad position. He's about to get mulched. Even if Rammus shows up, he's not going to be able to do too much. Okay, so they just placed a dragon ward, most likely. So what I'm going to do is place a pink ward here. Yeah, see, there we go. And kill their vision. Always watch what, if you're a support, watch what their support is doing. It'll give away what they're doing with wards like 90% of the time. Just going to ward that now because sort of I have a... oh, top down. That's not good. But at least we know that jungler is top now, so we can start making plays if we want to. I don't have my ult for a little bit, but... there we go. Works out. Didn't even need the Hecarim. And of course, as I said, no threat from the jungler, because we knew he was top lane. Didn't really need to tank that, that tower, I guess, but yeah, just trying to keep things safe here. Positionally, I needed to. Well, I didn't need to, but rather positionally it guaranteed us the kill by me being able to blow their AD carry back out with an ult. Okay, we should be able to take this tower. They're going to be back. Yeah, we can take this now. Malphite coming about. We got to get out of here. Okay, they may look to dragon because I'm kind of low, although I'm not particularly important. They can't be this far yet, so I'm going to stand here for a minute. Yeah, okay, Malphite is backing off. Honestly, a dragon call on their part wouldn't have been terrible in this instance. It was risky, but they're going to lose. Like, top lane is losing so much for that. So that's not ideal for them. We're going to get another GP5. Defense health, not health regen. We want pure health, and let's get a heart of gold. And that last pink ward was fairly useful, so let's just double up on that. I can sit around for about 20 gold, and I'll wait for another ward. I'm in no hurry to go anywhere, because I'm not going to be picking up farm anyway. And I have 3 GP5s basically. I have basically 1 GP5 for masteries, 2 GP5s from items. So definitely can afford to sit around. Okay, Taric is now... They just put a dragon ward down. This ward has another 20 seconds on it, so we'll see if I can actually make it there. You know, there's a fight going on here. Yep. Singe doing work. Uh-oh, Malphite. Here comes Malphite. I'm going to see if I can come up and help this. No. I can't do anything. I can, however, help you. Oh. I'm not going to use my ignite on him, because, or not my ignite, my exhaust, because I was pretty sure Vayne would be able to get that kill. So I saved my exhaust. I didn't use my ult either. My ult might have been able to save people earlier, but it was down cooldown, so... Give Vayne the shield, take this tower down. We should be able to dragon off this, I think. Yeah, this dragon. I think Rammus got really low. I will tank this, because... Actually, no, hold on a sec. Yeah, we're fine, we're fine. Yeah, that works. I'm not sure you catch this Orianna. Probably not. If I no, I can't flash that. We just take our... yeah, we have their jungler down now. Yeah, taking this is the correct decision, I think. I'm going... See, he's going to look to try and ult steal or something. So I'm going to leave that tornado just there in case. Okay, we're good. Got the dragon. Got 2 kills out of that, I believe. Alright, so before I go into like a brief overview of everything I've said thus far, I'm just going to make a quick announcement here. I'm going to be cleverly uploading this right before I start my live stream thing, the Custom Fridays that I do with 10-man custom games I play with the live stream viewers. So for all my lovely subscribers or anyone who happens to be watching this video exactly as I upload it, time should be sometime Friday evening right now, or Friday early afternoon right now, Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, go to the description below. There's a link to my website, lifeintheleague.com/livestream. You watch the live stream. Top right corner is a button that says IRC. You click that, gives you a window. You can join IRC. I can get you into games. We always have a lot of fun doing these things, so hope to see you there. If you're watching this long after the fact, this is completely irrelevant to you, so that was a bit of useless information. Yeah, so getting back into the clips, largely what this was is, I mean, you probably started to notice a pattern through all the clips. It's essentially what I started off by saying, is that you always want to be doing something constructive on the map, while minimizing the risk that either you'll get killed or the enemy will take objectives and come out ahead of you in this race to get gold and EXP, essentially. It's exploiting positions of strength when it's safe to do so, or reasonably safe to do so. Sometimes you got to take risks, but minimizing those risks is often the key. And of course, as bottom lane, there was added dynamics, like, you know, keeping your AD carries safe. You're almost like a Pokemon trainer, and your AD carry is the Pokemon. You keep him safe and feed him up into something massive, and he'll evolve and murder everyone, hopefully. But in addition to that, I think I answered the original question I started with that, spawned this whole series of, well, why do you click so much? Well, I think I continued to answer that question a bit more in this series as well, as it makes you more elusive. The enemy doesn't know what you're doing. It alters, your zone of threat consistently, so if it's moving around, the enemy doesn't quite know how to react to you. If you're just standing there, you become very mechanically predictable. In addition to, obviously, if you're moving around, you're going to be able to react to things faster. So it's not by much, but those microseconds are often going to be the difference between you getting ganked by Rammus rolling in or something, and just flashing out just in time. But yeah, that's part 2 there. Lane decision making. I know it bled into sort of wider team fight objective decision making a little bit, but I mean that's the nature of the game. So either the next video will be either objective decision making / team fight considerations, or team fighting mechanics. I don't know which it is yet. It'll be one of those. But thanks for watching. Hopefully this has been informative. If it wasn't informative to you, maybe some of your friends might find some of the points useful. So feel free to spread this video around, link it wherever. That would help me. So obviously I'm saying that for selfish reasons here. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you around. Hope you enjoy the series that will be this series to be continued on in the near future.